Scale of 1 to 10, what are you?
9.
9? I wasn't talking about looks. I mean, how you feeling? Scale of 1 to 10.
9.
9? Good, good.
Don is, he's a very nice man, and his dementia allows him to participate in activities.
He had been starting to have dementia problems and other issues, and either I wasn't in contact with him enough to know that was going on, or Zella was making sure that it just got taken care of.
So I'd say he's pretty early, maybe stage 2, because he's still able to communicate and still able to make his decisions as he thinks. You know, we have to help him along that way, but you know, he can say yes and no and make some choices.
My view of that is that it's very snapshot. You know, there might be one day when he's doing great and one day when, you know, there just isn't much response.
I guess the simplest way to explain it is when your mind just isn't working, your memory isn't working like it should, very forgetful. You have trouble doing the things that you normally would be able to do, like as dressing, eating, walking, talking. And there's different, you know, ranges in dementia. Some is, you know, very minor. You have just a little forgetfulness. And then there's others that can't even tell you their name.
So she asked how you were doing. What should I tell her? How are you doing?
I'm surviving.
Usually he's less alert later in the day, and oftentimes that leads to other problems about where do we go, who's going where, who lives where, who sleeps where, all those kind of things come up. So you kind of have to plan around some of those issues and put yourself in the best position for success, you know.
He likes to leave the facility. He wants to leave. Usually it's called sundowning. So when it gets to be 3 o'clock around here, a lot of the people want to go.
When I leave, he's getting ready to go because he's already thinking here about how is he going to go back to and get his car.
We go into one of the cafes in town to have lunch.
There are times when I'm a son, although that's very small. Most of the time I'm doing my caregiver part and doing my thing. When I come here and visit, it's mostly out of courtesy, responsibility, making sure everything's going okay. A little bit of conversation because frankly he probably doesn't know, you know, by tomorrow he won't know that I was here.
We have our conversation and we have our little lunch together. That's about it.
I try and organize my schedule and coming to visit and doing things so that we have our greatest chance for success. It doesn't ensure success. Maybe here this 80-degree weather we have for a couple days will make a big difference.
They haven't had any rain.
They haven't, huh?
No.
How do you know that?
Someone was telling me that.
Yeah?
I mean, he can answer your questions. Does he answer them correctly? No. He can feed himself. There are times he dresses himself.
He doesn't clearly understand where he's at, but he is some other time. He is definitely at some other time. And we kind of just go with that, you know, and not worry about that. He had said he and Zella had gone out with another couple on New Year's Eve, and he couldn't tell me who he was with, but that they were with another couple, and he couldn't tell me exactly where they went dancing, but he could kind of describe it a little bit.
They play polkas?
Not too much in the polka business.
Well, that's good enough, you know? Whether you really did or didn't, you thought you did, and so that was good enough.
You know, you can read around the world what's going on. The Vikings, quite a bit on the Vikings going on in the sports sections.
And then he also owned his own plumbing contracting business when I was younger.
This was last year, actually. We had some toilet seats that needed to be put on you know. So Don did get on the floor between the toilet and the wall with the pliers and put on the toilet seats.
Well, you put it together and set it up.
And I'm sure that was very therapeutic for him and very good for him. See, now you can see it on him. So this is one of those instances where he's lit up a little bit. So that's good. You know, I see that more often as a part of when he's teasing somebody or has some humor attached to it.
Well, it's Jim Beam and Vinegar.
You know, he's kind of a joker a little bit.
Is that what you told her?
I don't know if I did or not.
Well, that isn't what you had. And I think that's part of the sadness of this too, because there are moments where you can see his eyes light up and he is all there. And then there are moments like we experienced when we were having lunch today, where we would have just a little bit of conversation, and I'd ask a question, he'd respond with a 2 or 3 or 4 word answer, and then I'd ask the next question, and then he would have that look where he had vacated this place for a while. And then so I wait for a little bit and we ask another question or engage in another kind of conversation to try and see what can happen there. I don't know if that's for his benefit or my benefit, or just as a matter of frankly trying to pass some of the time, you know? Because I don't know that there's anything that I'm gonna do that's gonna change the trend line here dramatically. And so, especially in the amount of time that I'm with him, you try and find some level of normalcy wherever you can find some level of normalcy.